Welcome kids. In this video, I will teach you subtraction with borrowing. But before moving on to our topic, let us recapitulate some important points about subtraction. Subtraction is a process of removing the objects or numbers from a collection. The number from which another number is being subtracted is called minuend, and the number which is subtracted is called subtrahend. The answer we get after subtracting the subtrahend from the minuend is called difference. It can be explained here with the help of an example, kids. Here, as you can see, 4 and 6 are the minuends and 2 and 2 are the subtrahends. When we subtract 22 from 46, we got 24, which is known as the difference. Subtraction with borrowing. So borrowing means regrouping. But what is regrouping? Regrouping means when the value of subtrahend is more than the value of minuend, then we borrow the greater value from the next group. Let's understand this with the help of an example. As you can see here in this example, I am using the sticks. One stick means 1 ones and one bundle of stick means 1/10. And kids, as you already know, that 1/10 is equal to 10 ones. In this example, we have to subtract 5 from 23, which is possible, but as you know, in subtraction, firstly, we look up to the place value once. So here, 3 is a minuend and 5 is a subtrahend, which means 5 has a greater value than 3. So, what can we do, kids? Because 5 is greater than 3, so now 3 ones has to borrow 1/10 to increase its value from the next group, that is tens. So kids, after borrowing one bundle of sticks from the tens, we will move it to the ones, where we are already having 3 as a minuend, and now we are having 1/10, which you already know is equal to 10 ones there. So now the minuend in total is 13, which has a greater value than 5, which is our subtrahend. So students, now it is easy for us to subtract 5 from 13. So here in the next picture, we are subtracting 5 from 13 and see what we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So here 8 sticks are left, which means 13 minus 5 is 8. So 8 is our difference under ones place. Students, let's move to tens place now. As in the previous step, one bundle of sticks is borrowed by ones from tens. So now tens is having only one bundle of sticks left. Here we have to subtract the subtrahend, that is 0, from the minuend, which is 1. So we got 1 as a difference under tens place. So students, the difference of 23 and 5 is 18. Okay, dear students, let's do few examples now. So in A part, 61 minus 12. So what we will do first, we will align the sum under tens and ones value. As you know already, first we will solve the ones value. So minuend is 1 and the subtrahend is 2. Oh, so subtrahend is having a greater value than the minuend. So what we'll do, kids? Yes, we will take 1/10 from the tens value. After adding 1/10 into 1 ones, we get 11. So now our minuend is having greater value than the subtrahend. And now we subtract 2 from 11 and get 9 as a difference. Let's move on to tens value. Here 5/10 is left now, which is our minuend, and 1 is our subtrahend. So what we will do? We will subtract 1 from 5, and what we get? Yes, we get 4 as a difference. So 61 minus 12 is equal to 49. Now let's do our B part. Let's align the sum first under tens and ones value. As you already know, kids, that first we will solve the ones value. So under minuend we are having 4 and 9 is our subtrahend. So subtrahend is having a greater value than the minuend. So what we will do, kids? Yes, now we will borrow 1/10 from the tens value and add it into the ones value. So 10 ones plus 4 ones is equal to 14, which is now the greater value than the subtrahend. Now we will subtract 9 from 14 and get 5 as a difference. Now let's move on to tens value, where 4 is left and our subtrahend is 1. Now we will subtract 1 from 4 and we will get 3 as a difference. So students, 54 minus 19 is equal to 35. So students, now I will explain you few more examples of subtraction with borrowing. In the first example, we'll have to subtract 259 from 836. First we align the sum. Okay, now we'll begin with the ones value. Here, as you can see, subtrahend is 9 and minuend is 6, which means subtrahend is having a greater value than the minuend. Now what we'll do, kids? Yes, we will borrow 1/10 from tens, and now our minuend becomes 16. 10 plus 6 is 16. So now we will subtract 9 from 16 and our difference is 7. Let's move on to tens now. So now 1 is left under tens, but 2 is left under tens, but our subtrahend is 5, which is again a greater value. So now I will borrow 1 more from the hundreds and it will become 12. So now we will subtract 12 from 5 and our difference is 7. But now let's move to hundreds value. Here 8 is given us as 100, but we have just moved 1 to tens family. So how much is left, kids? 700 is left. So now we will subtract 2, which is our subtrahend, from 7, which is our minuend, and our difference is 5. So kids, the difference between 836 and 259 is 577. Alright kids, now let's move on to the second example. So now it's easy for you to solve these sums. Okay kids, so our next example is 710 minus 253. So first we align the sum under the different columns. Now we'll have to subtract under ones value first. So here the subtrahend is 3 and the minuend is 0, which means that subtrahend is having a greater value, and we will have to increase the value of the minuend. So what we will do, kids? We will take 1/10. We will borrow 1/10 from tens and give it to ones. So now our 0 become 10, and now we'll subtract 3 from 10, and our answer is 7. How much is left in the tens family now? 0. And here also the subtrahend is 5, which is a greater value than 0, which is our minuend. So we'll borrow from the hundreds family, and it becomes 10 again. So 10 minus 5 is 5. Now how much is left in the hundreds family? 600, because it's 7 and 1 is borrowed by tens. So here the subtrahend is 2 and the minuend is 6 now. So we will minus 2 from 6, and what we'll got? We got 4. So kids, the difference between 710 and 253 is 457.